Hello everyone, I am back to give my take on all of the madness in the crypto markets. If you're new to this space, hopefully this will stop you from panicking if you are, and help you to understand the market cycles that we're going to see happen all year, and just give you peace of mind that what we are currently experiencing is completely normal. So don't panic. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, Cardano, because it's an absolute screamer at the moment, and then two possible good buys in my opinion at the moment, which is AAVE and SNX, as they are currently correcting. So let's get into Bitcoin. Now, currently, jump straight in, currently we are 26% down from the all-time high, which you can see here, was on the 21st of February, a week ago today, and we usually see 30% corrections in a bull market, so we can't actually go lower. And if we did go lower to 30%, that's pretty much bang on the last resistance level, which we broke out of 2 weeks ago. So coming back to where you've broken out of after an ascending triangle is completely normal behavior in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. As you can see on the daily, we haven't actually retested the resistance. So this will be our first daily retest if we come back. On the lower time frames of like 1 hour, 4 hour, we did retest the resistance back then. But in terms of a daily close, we haven't. So this is normal. We're most likely going to bounce off it and off we go. And another good thing to be aware of, so on the previous all-time high in January, we corrected downwards of, I think, 27%, and then it went a little bit further down to a 31% reduction back to $28,000, where we bounced straight off. And then as well, if you look at the 21-day moving average and the 30-day moving average, we had a slow move beneath them, stayed there for a week, popped back out. Now look how similar this is. Correcting, we're going down, we are now beneath the 21, we are now beneath the 30-day moving average. And as you can see, we start to go sideways. You can see here that the crash is kind of slowing down. So I expect to see the same behavior, maybe a retest of this support where we broke out of before, and then off we go. But how long does this take? So, you know, we had the floodgates and the sea of red last week. Everybody was in a panic, oh my god, and then it goes back up the next day and we're thinking, yes, it's over. It's never that fast in cryptocurrency, ever. So if you look back to the previous all-time high, it took about 20 days and a 30% reduction before we started to come back out. So from the high, we could be here for like another 2 weeks. That'll be absolutely normal. And then if we want to see the potential where the next top is, well, from the previous top to this top, it took 44 days, and that was about a 40% increase in price. So, you know, if you take 44 days from where we are now, here we go, 44 days, and 40% increase. Hey, look at that going off the graph. We're going to be around the $80,000 mark, potentially, on our next pump. But we have to break the resistance of the previous all-time high to get there. That's possible. And so once you understand these cycles, look how fast it breaks out. And it falls back just as quick. Bounce off here. We're going to build up, hit some resistance, and at the end of the 44-day cycle, it's going to be 15th of March. So we could potentially be seeing that play out. So, you know, these cycles go round and round. They're never the exact same, but they do play out. So we can see a further dip. Nothing to worry about. So don't get too worried. Just have the long game in mind, and it'll happen. And there's this tool called the Fibonacci Retracement, And if you look from the low to the swing high, we're in what I call the Goldilocks zone, which is a classic resistance level for when it pulls back. So we're currently in this, and if we hold, we'll get some accumulation and we'll go out again. How long to get back to the all-time high that we've just had? If it plays out the same as what we had, if you go from here to there, that was a 31-day time frame to get back to the previous all-time high. So if you want to see where we could be getting back to from there, so that's 28 days. So we could potentially be seeing the 20th of March, 30th of March to get back to the all-time high. 44 days from that high, as I mentioned. I think I was wrong there. 44 days is actually 6th of April for the 80,000 Bitcoin. So that's like how long these time frames play out. And then if you think we're going to correct again back to this level, late April, May, and then the end of May, we're going to basically do a next same repeat. We'll go past 80, test 100, come back to the previous all-time high. And it's just going to do that for most of this year, I think. But the higher we get, obviously, the more risk there is to when we have that final pullback. So it should be an interesting year. So don't worry, these cycles are normal. You can see it play out here. You can see it playing out again. And we'll probably have 6 to 8 of these this year from here. No guarantee, but, Now, Cardano. An absolute FOMO train has taken hold. Loads of hype. It's got the Shelly fork tomorrow, which is obviously why there's a lot of excitement around the project and the price action. And you can see back from here, which I think is when we broke out of an ascending triangle, it's just gone. And then we started to form another ascending triangle from start of February to the 20th of February, which was 8 days ago, and we pumped out, hit resistance at 115, come back down, went underneath the previous resistance level, but straight back up, retested and broke through, found the next level of resistance at the 146, 150 area, and we've come back down and we've retested the 115, 120 area. So this is really strong action for Cardano, and we're going to retest that 150, I think. By the looks of this graph, it's quite bullish. Where Cardano's going to end up this year, I don't know. But the problem with this kind of price action is if you're buying at the top, how much is left in this run? So if you're buying back here, it's like, yeah, well, you would be sitting on big profits from 30 cents, 20 cents, 10 cents to here, like 12x. So a lot of people are going to start to think, yeah, I should be taking some profits. It's always risky to buy at the top. So unless you've got a long-term mind frame and not bothered about short-term volatility, it might not be the best time. But if we break through this resistance barrier, we're in price discovery mode, because this is kind of the all-time high previously on the last cycle. So once we get past that, it's going to be price discovery for Cardano. Promising project. Currently doesn't have anything alive on the mainnet. So let's see how this Shelly fork goes tomorrow. Now, AAVE. So this is my pick of the week for trying to find a good project and a good coin to get in low and hopefully go out high. So I've been watching AAVE since about the $50, $60 mark. And the reason I didn't buy it is because it kept going up. And since then, I've been watching it go up, and I simply refuse to buy something that is constantly screaming, because you don't know where the top is. So if you've missed it before it started to gain traction, just call it a lot. Like, say you missed the boat, it's fine. Just sit back and just watch what happens, and just bide your time. It's exactly what I've been waiting for. We hit a top of about $580. When it got to this point, around the 400 mark, I text one of my friends saying, I know you've got a lot of AAVE, might be worth cashing some out because I can feel a correction's coming. Play it safe. you're sat in a lot of profits. And we've now started that correction, savagely down. We've followed a Bitcoin dump, and we've dumped hard, straight into what I like to call the Goldilocks zone of our resistance area. And as you can see, we are now in it, and we are maintaining that price action within this zone. So for me, I have accumulated some AAVE, 4.4 AAVE over this last week, because it's an amazing DeFi project. Very complex if you don't understand what it does, but you know, it's basically like a loan system that's all automated with staking pools, with some fancy flash loan system on it. Quite promising. So for me, I've been waiting for this correction. When it's going like that, I just can't justify buying something that's on a steam train, or a FOMO train, that I like to call it. So take a look at this project. You might find it interesting, and if you've been waiting to buy, this could be one of those times where it's a good idea to average in. Never lump sum, that's stupidity. And another one I've been following for some time is SNX. And the same thing, when I was watching it, it's basically been moving like AAVE over the same period of time, but obviously with lower numbers. Now, this did the same thing. It got quite overextended from the 21-day moving average. Whenever anything's like 100% away from that moving average, you know it's going to return at some point. So you got to look out for these gaps, you know, wait for it to return. That's a better time to buy than obviously when it's overextended in a bull market condition. That's what I think anyway. So yeah, SNX is now actually trading at $18. I'm pretty sure a few weeks ago at the start of February it was here. And I refused to buy. But now that I've seen a real correction and it's lost its steam, I feel like it's a better time for me to start accumulating some SNX, because I can see that it's not got a FOMO train on it. Any token that you see in these areas that aren't doing much but are really good projects, basically people are taking profits, and so you want to be ahead of the next cycle for that particular token in the bull market. So I've got myself a small amount of SNX too. So yeah, learn the basics of the bull market cycles, how to understand the 21-day moving average, and that we always return to it at some point. And when we go under, I think it's a good buy. So look out for those kind of things. If you look at Cardano, we're obviously on the daily. Oh, you can see here, all of these times we return to it, thinking, oh, maybe I'll get some. It's on the 21-day moving average, and then look, boom, FOMO takes hold, hype, everybody gets excited, breaks out, and as you can see, we're still like quite overextended from the daily 21-day moving average. I always like to check the macro rather than the micro. I think you can get a better signal for the long-term trend. So at some point, we're going to return to this. You know, it's at $1 now, so that's good, because if it does pull back, you know, it's going to test it. If we're going to test it at $1 and carry on, that's pretty strong. So you've got to be aware of these possibilities and you know, strategize around that. So let's give it some time. Give it 30 days to get back to the all-time high. 20, 30 days. And yeah, it'll be a slow month, so don't panic. Just let the markets do what they do. Let the weak hands get flushed out and reaccumulate. You know, do your research and understand what risk you are taking. Thanks for watching. I hope that helped calm your nerves if you are currently panicking. Over and out.